Hello again. It's soon. There was one other item I wanted to talk about today, which is the March for Life. They picked a heck of a day for it. Today it's going to be cold, and maybe it's going to be Friday. I don't know, but I think it was. No, it's not Saturday. I think it is. It is the 21st, which is it now is on my little clock here. And on my phone. That's the ultimate authority is your cell phone. So they're going to be out in the cold, which is God's way of saying, quit doing it this way. If you listen to the near-death experience things, there's no such thing as sin that keeps you out of heaven. So, if that's the case, and what makes people happier, and it's or what's good for people, not what makes them happy, but what's sane. And if that's the case, legal abortions is sane. Certainly, back alley abortion isn't sane, and what morality is for us, and what it does for us. And of course, there has to be a solution, a peaceful solution to this crisis, because we're tearing ourselves apart, and we're electing people like Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said the magic words that he was pro-life, and the Catholic Church thought they could control, and the pro-life movement thought they could control him. If they were trying to control him, they did a crappy job, crappy job. Because they should have been the ones who wanted Pence in. Pence was their pro-life guy anyway. They should have gotten rid of Trump as soon as he put in a couple of justices. But nope. The justices are That's why they can't kick Manchin out of the party, by the way, because if Manchin leaves, then there will be no. There's two justices that are either going to die or get thrown out. Ginny Thompson's doomed her husband, and Breyer's old. Alito's actually getting old. But here's the thing about justices and abortion and the march today. Nobody's going to be saved by a march for overturning Roe. And I don't mean just because the state lineups will change. It's because Roe's not going to be overturned. It's a process concern. The Mississippi side wants to have the states control this decision, and no civil rights case can ever be a state final decision. That's what Plessy put in, that the states did have the final authority over the 14th Amendment. And in Hernandez and Brown, which were decided 2 weeks apart from each other, the Supreme Court said no, the federal government has jurisdiction over these cases. And the respondents in this case want the states to have it, and it's not going to happen. It's odd that the people say that they overturned Plessy, yeah, and you're trying to overturn Plessy again. So, or bring back Plessy again. So it's amazing that pro-lifers say, well, Plessy was overturned. They don't know anything about the law. The law under Plessy was state control. They're trying to bring Plessy back and overturn Roe first, and I'm sure they've got a laundry list from Plyer versus Roe, which said you have to educate children regardless of their immigration status in public schools. That's the law of the land, and you can't regulate birth control. You can't regulate abortion. You can't deny couples marriage just because they're of the same sex. You can't ban aid to Catholic schools. The church really doesn't want state control, or else in Alabama, when people who think the Pope is the Antichrist, burn churches, or they couldn't be rebuilt because they couldn't get the permits because the majority, enough of a majority thinks that actually the Pope is the Antichrist, and the 14th Amendment protects the Catholic Church. They should not be marching today at the court. They should be marching on tax day, and they should be supporting Build Back Better, especially the child tax credit, child care provided, Now, there's, of course, Build Back Better can be improved. The child tax credit, needs to be higher, but some of the things need to go from it. The environmental stuff I'm in favor of, but, you're never going to get it passed in this bill. So, they should do the child tax credit and a couple other things that are pro-family. That'll be the best thing for the economy, and save the stuff that Bernie wants and the left caucus wants for after 2022. And they'll get, if they're reasonable, they'll keep 2022 because Trump is still going down, and some of our congressmen are going down. There'll be, the thing about Manchin, of course, is that when they replaced the six Republican senators that were part of the conspiracy, that includes the insurrection and the fake electors who should have said, we're not electors, we're alternate electors, but they were amateurs. Amateurs are just, they would have lost anyway, but, they shouldn't have done it so sloppily. You can have a dignified loss, but it shouldn't be sloppy. And if you let both the other side have amendments and make it be understood that means that to get those amendments passed, it'll come to the floor and get bipartisan support to the extent that it's a good bill for both sides. That's how the American government is supposed to run. That's how it runs most of the time. But grandstanding for your side doesn't get things done. And that's, and grandstanding because you think it's going to win elections. It doesn't. It hasn't. That's why the margin is so close. If a party can govern, it'll be allowed back. If a party can't govern, then it'll be a constant struggle to get beyond 50%. And that's what they've got because they've put electoral politics ahead of governing on both sides. And people think, well, let's go to the court and protest. It's too cold, and it's a bad idea to protest against Roe. They should protest on tax day, and they should tell the Republican congressman, this is Build Back Better is pro-life. Pass it. Take out the environmental stuff. They can do that in debate on the floor and agree on a bill, but pass the child tax credit and fund it with all of the tax increases, and maybe even broaden that. Healthcare should not have been a tax on the rich only. They need to put in a minimum wage if they want to restore incomes to where they should be. I'm doing a paper also on that. The middle class, however you define the middle, is about the same percentage of income from 1969 to now, on any measure in 2004 to now. But the rich are rich because they take money from the poor. This low minimum wage and second-rate economy is killing people, actually. And if you're pro-life, it's killing the unborn. The minimum wage increase would be pro-life legislation, and it would bring more money to the working poor and even to the middle class. Although I define the middle class as the people who have the middle part of the money. So if you don't make $80,000 a year, you're poor. If you're a family that makes under $80,000, you're poor. That's most Republicans. That's most Democrats too. But people like to think they're in the middle class. They're in the working class. And we haven't sold that enough because nobody likes to be told they're poor, but that's the reality. You're poor. And if you don't raise the minimum wage, you're going to stay poor. And if you don't increase the child tax credit, you're going to stay poor. And if you keep marching on January 21st or 22nd, you're going to stay poor because you'll believe that if we just get the court correct, then abortion will stop. It's like, no, it won't. Get the economics correct and abortion will stop. Or at least it'll be a rare thing. I mean, a really rare thing. And in fact, the abortions that do happen, are probably biologically necessary. Even for Downs, there's a monetary solution. If you make sure that people on SSI have enough money, and anybody disabled has enough money, and having Down syndrome should be, money for life, guaranteed. If you're a Downs patient, you shouldn't have to work, or if you work, it should be supportive work, and not mandatory. So, some kind of mandatory care or daycare, yeah, that's fine. I mean, people should, just because they have Downs, they shouldn't be sitting around, watching YouTube all day. Excuse me. They should have some activity, and they should be paid for that activity at the minimum wage. But they should also have adequate benefits. If that were to occur, nobody would, and you had respite care, people, wouldn't even think of aborting their Down's children. But the way society is, it's cruel, and it's cruel to abort, but it's also cruel to give people the prospect that they're going to have a child that after they die is going to live a miserable existence as a poor person. So yeah, it's really throwing money at it will, unless a child can't be born, will be guaranteed stillborn, and has the genetic defects that would occur to that, and then abortion is moral. In fact, it should be necessary. I know the Catholic Church doesn't like that, but the Catholic Church doesn't do science very well, or ethics, actually. So you really don't. But that's a whole other thing that will take me more than the 3 minutes that I have left. Actually, yeah, 3 minutes. So I'm going to upload this one. I'm going to upload the last one. And then I'm going to watch YouTube videos. I've been watching videos from just little blips of what the hit songs were. There was a time when I wasn't watching MTV or VH1 or anything. I wasn't listening to radio, so there's years where I have blanks on what the songs were. So I'm trying to see both how much I missed and what those songs were like. I haven't really found any that I've really wanted to see that I hadn't heard of, but maybe I'll find a few. So yeah, it's that's what I've been going to after I upload this video, and I'm going to sleep in and be a normal Friday. So and maybe go get some groceries. Hopefully it warms up enough for that. So so that's all I've got for this one. There will still be a video soon, I'm sure. When Congress comes back, they'll have hearings and there'll be all kinds of things to do. The other, most of the blogging, I'm not, I've given that up for Lent. The blogging on, Michael Sean Winters and on Tax Policy Center. So it makes my life a lot easier to not be a part of the commentariat on those two sites. So I'm going to vlog myself. Look in the comments, put something there. It's now your turn to comment on me. And if you do that, people will see it and, share this video. It's off the wall enough, it's shareable. And, we will, and justify my decision to leave the commentary and join the vlog sphere. So, yes, please like, share, Patreon, all that normal stuff. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.